Welcome back to the bed build. This is a part of a project that I really hate. I really hate it. And there's multiple reasons for that. And those reasons, not the least of which, is that I'm not very good at it. And again, there's reasons that I'm not very good at it. One of those reasons is I don't have very much experience. I haven't studied the craft very much. So you could say, well, I don't know what I'm doing, and you'd be right. But also there's the fact that I don't have very good facility for it. I don't have a dust-proof finishing room. I don't have space to finish a project this size. It's very big. Equipment maybe the sprayer I'm using isn't high-tech enough. It's not maybe precision enough. I think it's a good sprayer though. I'm not blaming that. So there's just a limited level of quality I can produce with finishing a project. I find it extremely frustrating. I can work very hard on a wood project. I can turn out a very nice project, and then I start applying finish to it, and it almost ruins it. So having said that, I want to make it clear that I'm under no delusion that this is going to be a beautiful wood finish. This is going to be a protective wood finish, and it's going to end up being mostly what you would think of as a matte wood finish. And that's because I don't have a dust-free area. There's plenty of dust in the air all the time. And there's going to get dust in the polyurethane as I spray it. I spray the polyurethane, that stuff is stickier than you can imagine. Every little piece of dust hits that and it causes a little bump. So what happens is I sand those little bumps down. I make it smooth to the touch, but it's no longer shiny. That's okay. I'm not a big fan of the shiny look. I would rather have a matte look on my wood, which is good because that's what I achieve. I can sand that with 320, 400, or even higher. I can make it nice and smooth, but it's a matte look, and the lumber and the wood looks more natural that way, I believe. So it's good that I'm happy with that outcome, because that's the outcome that I achieve with this finishing. And again, I just wanted to make it clear that I'm not going for a glassy, smooth kind of a finish on this, because I just don't have the facility to achieve that. You need a proper spray booth. You should be using what's called a catalyzed finish for that, which is more like an epoxy. It's kind of a two-part, where you mix the two parts, you spray it, and then the catalyzing action in the finish hardens it. That's not what I'm using. I'm just using a solvent-based product, which you spray, the solvent evaporates, and it hardens up. Which is not, it's not as good a product. It's not as professional, but catalyzed products, they bring a whole new level of pain in the backside. They're explosive for one, so your ventilation system needs to be ready to handle that kind of thing. You need to ventilate very well, and you need to ventilate with a system that's not going to cause an explosion. So there's a whole bunch of excuses, a whole bunch of reasons that this is not going to be just the perfect situation. However, this is going well enough, and I'm progressing. I've sprayed the sides, I've sprayed the bottom, and now I've got it turned right side up, and I'm spraying the cavities. This is difficult because to get the spraying down into the cavities and whatnot, I've got a lot of vertical surfaces which can drip and run. I've got horizontal surfaces that I can't get the gun into to spray properly. I have to spray this way, and that causes challenges. I have to spray it under here. These are glued on, of course, and I've taken the center pieces off there so that I'm not spraying under those. So that helps. One thing I'm doing here right now is I've sprayed this once. Got a nice coating on it. I like that. it feels really good, except all of those little dust bumps. I have to take those off. And one of the tools I'm using for that is a card scraper. This is just it's just a piece of high quality metal, and it has on the corner a little burr. So if you were to magnify that edge, you would see the edge come over like this. It curls over. So there's a little bit of a knife edge on the corner there. When I drag that on the wood, it scrapes the wood and smooths it out. So I'll show you here and you'll see what's going to happen. Okay, so I've got a little bit of material here. Took off of that surface, and now where I scraped that, it's not finished, but it's much more smooth. So I can scrape it a few times. You see it turning a little bit white here and there. That's fine. Once I spray it again, all that white will go away. So that's getting pretty smooth. So I'm just taking the worst of the dust bumps off of there. Dust nibs, sometimes people call them. And then I'll sand it to fairly smooth. And then I'm going to spray it again. I only want to spray this twice. So once I spray it a second time, then I will scrape and sand it again. I'll sand it to a matte finish, and then the sucker's ready to go. So that's what I'm doing here today. I haven't showed you the spraying part, because if I were to have this camera in here while I'm spraying, it would pretty much destroy my camera, I think. All the spray in the air. So that Erlex is pretty good. It doesn't get a lot of overspray with it. It's not a lot of bounce when it hits the material. It doesn't bounce back. So yeah, it's not very exciting. I'm just scraping and sanding here today.